I've loved every Xperia that I have tried over the last few years. Most of them have been the Xperia 5 series, and there is truly no other compact flagship out there on the market that can do what these phones bring to the table. I've effectively run this YouTube channel with Xperia devices, and I don't see that changing going forward. However, after getting the Xperia 5 Mark IV back in January, where there were quite a number of serious issues off the bat to the multiple updates and improvements that came with that, I ultimately got to the point where I felt like I needed to return the phone and swap it for something else. Now, I just want to be clear before getting into those issues, most of which I had mentioned in previous videos, but I also love this phone in many ways. If you're somebody looking to buy this in place of something like a dedicated camera to get things done, to use as a tool for YouTube, it will work very well for that. It hasn't skipped a beat for content creation in any way. I've recorded 20 plus minutes of 4K 30 footage at a time with no issue. I've streamed games from it. I've edited and rendered video on it. There was no issue whatsoever. I also loved this phone for photography. I used it during our little honeymoon in Cornwall, and it was a joy to use. And there's a few of those images for you right here. I also had the Pixel 6 Pro on that trip with me, which I often used more for the 4x telephoto, because the Xperia only has a 2.5x, which wasn't quite enough at times, but it still produces really nice images. So why am I returning this phone if it was that good? Well, it was in the general use of the phone, really, and I have done previous videos on this already, but it was just too buggy. There was severe RAM management at times, screen going blank, random restarts, a screen that isn't actually very sensitive at all, and if you put a screen protector on there, it almost becomes unresponsive. So they're the main reasons that I returned it. It's a real shame, because I feel like Sony addressed the complaints that many had of the previous 5 series Xperias, in that, oh, there was no wireless charging. They added wireless charging. Oh, it's got this glossy glass back to it that's really slippery and isn't as nice as the Xperia 1. They fixed that. They matched it up. It's really nice. And they even threw in a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, which I'm still absolutely shocked at considering the size of that phone. Admittedly, that all resulted in having a reduced telephoto. We didn't get the same kind of telephoto that we got in the 1 Mark IV, but still very, very nice all round. On paper, it is a phone that should be absolutely perfect for me, barring that smaller telephoto. And like I said, I've done videos over the last few months in regards to this, so you can always go back to those and check those out if you like. But it's also worth looking at the comments on those videos, because I was not the only one having those issues. There's a number of people having those problems. You can see it on Reddit as well. Obviously, you can see anything on Reddit, but there's definitely people having these issues, and they are persistent. And some even said that the issues started with the Android 13 update. So I don't know if Sony did this time round push out this Android version a lot quicker than they had done in previous years. In fact, it was ahead by about 3 months. So maybe there's some sort of quality control there that needs addressing, or maybe they just didn't do a good enough job, full stop. If Sony can really get on top of the software issues and address the minor hardware issues, I think the Mark V series could be absolutely epic. In terms of the 5 Mark IV, however, this is not a phone that I can recommend to people. If you want an Xperia on a budget and you don't fancy paying up for those next-gen prices that are going to be coming, probably going to be pretty pricey, I would recommend getting the 1 Mark IV. By the way, if you want to see what the next generation of Xperias will have to offer, be sure to subscribe to the channel, because we usually get them here in the UK pretty early, and I will be getting it day one. So stay tuned for that. And until then, stay grounded. We'll see you soon.